Communication Error.
Oh, welcome to Communication Error, a gaming debate podcast where we may not always agree, but if we listen to what one another has to say, maybe we'll be able to fix our communication error. This is episode 45. I'm your host, Cheesy, co-host, and then the other one is John Ebo, who you can fill in the blanks.
Who is the smartest man in the world?
No, not you, the internet. Yeah, I couldn't think of anything this week, so I'm just letting the internet decide. The man who blank.
Who is always right about everything.
No, not that one. What's the next
Definitely that one.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. It's been, what, like 2 weeks since we recorded, I think?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
A week and a half, almost 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Tomorrow will be 2 weeks. And nothing really has happened over those 2 weeks, except for I binge watched 6 seasons of Community.
6 seasons in a movie?
Did they do a movie? Did they do a movie?
No, but they are making it currently.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I know that joke, and that they said that like really early, right? It was like maybe the first season or second season.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, it got 6 seasons in a movie. I forget what show it was, but it was a fictional show.
No, The Cape. The Cape was a very real show on NBC.
Okay.
And then it got canceled.
Well, yeah. So yeah, we've been watching that. There's a lot of, I think it's a really good show. There's a lot of pros to it. I think the ones that really shine are the ones that they go all out for. The paintball episodes, even the multiple timeline episode. Like,
so good.
That was really good. The Floor is Lava. Like, there are so many good episodes. And there's definitely some issues with it. The jokes don't hold up as well as they would have back in even back in like 2010. I don't know if some of these jokes would have held up that well. But overall, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and what I love about it too is like the writers Anthony and Joe Russo made Arrested Development, and then they worked on the show Community, and then they were like, yeah, we'll take on Captain America Winter Soldier, why not? And then just became like a household name for Marvel movies.
And then they did Endgame.
And also
they do Endgame.
Did Endgame and Infinity War, and so like they're pretty big names now.
Oh, that's where. So we watched them all with Dungeons and Dragons. One of the dungeons. Are there multiple Dungeons and Dragon episodes? I feel like we missed one.
Yeah, so one of them is banned.
Okay.
Yeah, so which is a shame because I really do think it is a great episode, and they reference it so much during the series. But it's banned on Netflix and like everywhere else that Community streams. And that's because Shang is I don't know like in D&D terms like what kind of character he's playing, but it's blackface. And it's not, I mean, it's like straight black, like the color black, not the color skin, but people took it as blackface, and I can totally understand why. But yeah, they just take that whole episode out, even though it's referenced so much.
Yeah, they referenced it so much, and we were watching. We're like, So we started the show like years ago. We got through like 3 episodes, and then we just stopped. But so we went back into it. We're like, all right, let's just start at episode 4. So we thought maybe in the first 3 episodes, that's when they did the D&D episode, but that makes more sense.
Yeah,
and we just watched the actual D&D episode.
And
that one was pretty good. And the guy that plays the son of one of the characters, he's in Arrested Development.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah. David Cross.
Yeah. So that makes sense. That makes sense now.
One of my favorite.
We probably shouldn't talk about Community for 10 minutes, but it does kind of tie into what we're talking about tonight, because I just watched an episode of Community where they did a virtual reality episode.
Uh-huh.
So it kind of ties in. It kind of
Okay.
ties in. And I think it's kind of
Okay.
funny because what year was Community? Like, what year do you think that would have been? Like 2012?
It's 2009. I know
Well,
that because
what year would
during
the sixth season have been, though? Like 2015?
the sixth season? Yeah, probably.
Okay, so it's still like 10 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And they were talking about VR.
Uh-huh.
So here we
And
are,
how
10 years later.
ridiculous it is. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, we're talking about virtual reality, which I don't really understand. Before this, I thought VR stood for very real. And I don't know where it's going with gaming or if it's going to catch on. The trends that we're seeing.
I feel like we've been asking that since it came on to the scene, right? Like back in the I guess it would have been like 90s would have been when VR really came onto the map.
Yeah, you're not talking about like Virtual Boy, right?
No, I'm pretty sure like virtual reality became a thing. Like they talked about it in the community episode about that there was a bunch of virtual reality movies in the 90s. Like they used it in the 90s for movies. Or like the movie was about virtual reality. So it's been around since the 90s and now we're 30 years outside the 90s and we still have no idea what it's doing with gaming.
Yeah. And or just in general. Like I think the big reason that we're kind of talking about it is the Apple Vision Pro just released for $3,500. So if you have that kind of money, it's your money. Do what you want with it, but also you could do a lot more with it than just escaping your world and going into a different one.
But before we get really into it, let's do some server maintenance because we always forget to do this. But we might be getting shut down because the podcast police have noticed that we didn't get a new review in February on Apple. So make sure you leave a 5-star review on Apple if you haven't already, or a 5-star review on Spotify. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're up to like 230 subscribers on the YouTube channel, so that's awesome. That completes one of my petty goals that I can't say on here, but it does complete a petty goal. And follow us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all the socials. Check out the Patreon where you can get a day early access to these episodes now. And we might be doing other things. We'll see. I don't know. We always say that. And then we're busy. We don't have time to do it. But we do have some ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think we want to do it. We just don't have the time. You don't have the time right now. I mean, we're honestly lucky just to be doing these episodes during your busy season. So,
I'm actually doing 3 podcasts this week.
Yeah. God, that means I have to deal with you 3 times this week.
We're gonna be on Dripping Jeeb podcast, where I think we're gonna be talking about piracy.
Say it again. How do you say the name?
Dripping Jeeb.
Oh, okay.
So there's Drip, and then there's Jeeb. There's two.
Yeah, I thought it was Geeb.
No, it's Jeeb.
Okay, all right.
And then we'll be on the Nintendo Powercast this week as well.
Mm-hmm.
So busy week. And I have to do taxes in the middle somehow.
But we could always escape our busy weeks if we just had virtual reality.
Yeah, hold on. I have visual aids. You can't see it, but
what's the point?
If you're looking on, oh my God, I ruined it. There we go. If you're looking on I don't know why this is being dumb, but if you're watching the audio or the video, you could see that I have the Apple Vision Pro website pulled up.
Oh no.
And there's so I don't know. I don't know if this is considered virtual reality or augmented reality. The one screen, it says free your desktop and your apps will follow. Like, why Why would you need? Why not just use a computer or your phone?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I guess it's so you don't have to buy another monitor, but if you paid $3,500, you probably could have bought another monitor.
I don't know. Can you afford an Apple or a Mac? If
I don't know. Where are they priced at?
Macs, I honestly I don't know.
Yeah. But so, like, we're seeing people right now with VR headsets, especially because of Apple. Like, that's just the brand. And it always has felt like if you have an Apple product, you are ahead of everybody
You're
else.
cool. I got my iPhone.
It's what it's felt like, right? Yeah, I have an iPhone too. I've got AirPods. So I don't know. Like right now, we're just seeing people wear them even outside.
Have you seen anybody in real life? Honestly, though,
I haven't. But that's
I think
because
this is a
I probably
very select few of people that have this thing.
Yeah, but I think where you and I are probably aren't going to see people with those kind of headsets.
I don't know.
Like
I live near the largest mall in America.
Okay.
And I go to that mall frequently, and I have not seen anyone there with it. There's an Apple store there too.
I know, and you could do demos. Like I've thought about just, putting my name on the list to do like a demo of it. But I still don't really understand VR in general. Like I don't get how it's going to help us. I don't understand how gaming is going to be good for it. Like the only platform that is doing VR right now is PlayStation. So
the
is
only
that going
no,
to catch...
I mean the only console maker is doing.
Yes.
There's the MetaQuest 3.
Yeah.
Or there's the MetaQuest, which is a separate headset that you don't need a computer for. Like it's just on its own. So that is like people are playing VR games. They are playing VR games. That's what the MetaQuest is for. It's just gaming. Like I even have a MetaQuest.
Oh,
2.
See, I didn't know that. How many times have you played it?
Probably twice.
So yeah, what is it that you like about it? What is it that you don't like about it?
So the immersion is like a really cool aspect. So I got it because Resident Evil 4 came out with its VR version, and I want to check it out. And it was, I don't know, it was definitely immersive. Like you actually have to reload the guns manually. You have to actually like pull a grenade off of your chest and like throw it, and like you actually get to do the movements that you see in a game that would normally be like a button press. So that's like really cool. And then it's all first person perspective, so you can look around and you have 360 view of everything. So it's a different perspective that you would normally get in a video game. So that I do like that aspect of it. I still think that we're not ready for it. Like it makes me feel a little sick, like motion sickness.
Yeah, I think for me too, even though I haven't played many VR games, I have, and I've done like demos at Best Buy of like looking at the ocean floor or whatever. It does kind of give me a little motion sickness, or just like having my eyes that close to a screen. I just don't know if that would be good for me long term. And so I understand the appeal of it and how it is cool, but it also just kind of seems like a thing for maybe 30 minutes and then I'm done with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think you're supposed to like you can't have like 10-hour gaming sessions, which I can't even do 10-hour gaming sessions anymore. But you can't be in a VR headset for 10 hours. Like that would not be good.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get the appeal. I do think it's a gimmick. I think it's been a gimmick since it came out.
I mean, I don't know. Is it? Because now that Apple is doing something with it,
but like Apple's not focused on the gaming side of it. They're more focused on the quality of life side of it, where
Yeah, but
it's
if they
more
can-
like it's more like a phone on your face as opposed to like being a dedicated gaming thing.
You're right. And you know what? We forgot too that PlayStation is not the only console maker that has gone VR. Nintendo also went VR with Labo.
Got my
Of course you had
Labo.
it.
I was
You had it
prepared.
ready.
I was prepared for today. I got my Labo. I use this thing. This thing sucks. Like, this is terrible. Like, this is that was awful. So
You're telling me cardboard VR headset wasn't good?
yeah, cardboard VR headset that doesn't have a head strap. Like, that's why would you not have a head strap?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Because you just have to hold it up.
You have
right?
to hold it the whole time. And then like you're like looking around. Oh, it's definitely not a good
You know,
experience.
Nintendo really could have brought back the viewfinder in a really cool way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, where you
Yeah.
just like hit the little thing and then there's like new pictures that show up.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like maybe a proof of concept. I'm worried that the next Nintendo console is gonna have VR. But
Why-
like the
why do you say
VR
that?
experience, the VR experiences for Nintendo are terrible on the Labo. Like the Smash Brothers, there's a Smash Brothers VR mode which it's not useful at all because you're just like you're watching the match. I don't even know if you're playing the match. I don't remember. But you just like it's not good. Breath of Wild has a VR mode too. I haven't tried that. That might be
I
kinda
feel
cool.
I feel like if there is one that works, it probably would be Breath of the Wild.
But it's not like a typical VR game where you're in first person, you're not holding a
Yeah.
sword and a shield. Like you're still in that third person perspective, just
Yeah.
like you could look around 360. That's pretty much what it is.
So let's talk about that because that's something that I think about too is like a lot of VR is motion. It is you being the character. You are in control. Didn't we try to do that with the Wii and then people were like, "Oh, I hate motion controls." Like they had to get up and actually move their body around. Like that's one of the reasons I don't see VR really going anywhere is because with games because gamers just want to relax. They don't want to get up and they don't want to do like movements and exercises and then you also have the accessibility part of it too is like not a lot of or there are people who aren't going to be able to play these kind of games because maybe they can't get up and you know have a lot of motion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you have to get up. Like, you don't have to get up. You could sit and play a VR game because there's not really like
Yeah.
Well, I guess there are like foot straps and stuff, but you don't really like for the MetaQuest for this one that I have. It's just two controllers, so like you could sit and play it. I mean, it's not the same. I just think VR is a gimmick. Will always be a gimmick until they figure out a way to make it feel really immersive instead of because even the games that you play on VR, like they're not these fully fledged games. Like they're just, bite-sized like Beat Saber is just like a rhythm game.
Yeah.
It's not
So
like
I've
you're
played-
playing Last of Us
Right.
in VR.
Yeah, but don't they have like a Resident Evil? I mean, you said that they have Resident
Yeah, the Resident Evil,
for
the Resident
MetaQuest,
Evil one's
but-
cool. I think that is just the full game.
Okay.
It's really hard to wrap your head around at first because you're like, what buttons do I press? And I'm like trying to reload a gun and it's not the way I like to play a game. And I think that's going to turn people off. I don't think most people will resonate with VR. So it'll always be a niche experience.
Let me ask a question just because I don't know. You wear glasses. How does that
It
work?
sucks. It sucks. So
But
They
yeah,
actually
so do
so
you
they
wear the glasses with the VR
yeah, I
headset?
have to or I can't see.
Right.
So they do give you like an extra padding if you have glasses or like a smaller padding, but like my frames are pretty big. So even
Uh,
if I were to wear it with these glasses, like I have to use a different pair of glasses when
oh, interesting.
if I want to play VR because it hurts too much with these glasses.
Yeah. God, I can't even imagine what it's like to wear the Apple Vision Pro because I don't know if you've seen some of the photos of people wearing it, but like they have to tighten it and it like sucks in on their face and it just looks like their cheeks are kind of like going up into their eyes.
Yeah,
Have you
I mean
seen that?
I haven't watched anything about it. If I could have figured out a way to make my money back on that, I would have bought it. But
I think you probably
$3,500 is a lot of money. That's a lot of money to
Yeah.
recoup. Like I could
Yeah.
recoup $300 on a Nintendo Switch, but $3,000, no, no. So that's a big hindrance for VR and gaming. Is the barrier of entry is super high on a lot of these things.
Yeah.
The MetaQuest is good because you could just buy the MetaQuest headset for I think like $400, around $400, and then you could just play the games that are on the Meta headset. But for the
Yeah.
PSVR, you have to buy a PS5, and then you have to have the PS. So the PS5 is like $400, $500, and then you have to pay another $400, $500 to get the PSVR. So you're looking at close to $1,000 just to be able to play these VR games. Same with I don't know if Oculus is still a thing. I honestly don't know. But
No, I don't know either.
there used to be one where you could only use it if you had a PC. So you would have to have a PC that is capable of it. So looking at $1,000, $1,500 there, and then buy the headset for another hundreds of dollars. So the barrier to entry is super high on most of these things. The MetaQuest is the exception. And if you are interested in VR, I would say get the MetaQuest 3 instead of like buying the PSVR, because I couldn't find the article, but there was something that said that PlayStation has kind of given up on PSVR, or like they dropped the ball.
Aren't they making a sequel? I thought they were making a second
No, so
one.
the PlayStation VR 2 is out. It's been out for like a year.
Okay. Oh, I'm all right.
They haven't really supported it.
Uh-huh.
So people are saying like they just don't care about the PSVR 2.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's so interesting that people want them to make a handheld when they can't support the hardware that they already have with the VR
So
and the PS5.
there was an article that I did send you recently that says Sony is testing PSVR 2 compatibility with PC. We're pleased to share that we are currently testing the ability for PSVR 2 players to access additional games on PC to offer even more game variety in addition to the PlayStation Virtual Reality 2 titles available through PlayStation 5. We hope to make this support, and then it cuts off because I'm not clicking the rest of that.
Yeah, so I have that pulled up right now. I have the article pulled up about. It says, yeah, we're currently testing PSVR 2 to access additional games on PC because they're not releasing any games on PSVR 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I think they had the Horizon game. That was their big selling point, was the Horizon game. But now, I mean, what else do they have? I don't even know what VR games are out there. I don't know anybody that owns a PSVR 2.
I know, and I was hoping that we can get. I'm going to reach out to somebody from PlayStation Drive and see if they have a VR headset that we can talk to them next week. But yeah, they probably don't. I don't know. And like you said, you don't really know knowledge on games. I really don't know knowledge about virtual reality because it's just so, wait for it, niche.
It is niche.
I just don't know who is playing these games or if they enjoy them. Like, honestly,
there was a game that came out. I forget what it's called. It got a 10 out of 10.
Super hot.
Well, that one I think people really like, but it wasn't that. It was a fantasy RPG, and I'm pretty sure they showed it at the Game Awards.
Like this year?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called, but it got a 10 out of 10. So
is it Spellbound?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if that's maybe, but I do know that there is a fantasy RPG game that got a 10 out of 10. So there probably are games that are pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
But you just don't hear, like, nobody talks about VR games. Who's talking about VR games?
Yeah. But the kicker is, if Nintendo started making VR games, we probably would be playing them.
That's true.
And I don't know if we actually would be enjoying the VR of it or if we would just be enjoying the IP.
Yeah, so I doubt that I would play it. I would play it to say that I played it, but I doubt that I'd play it to completion.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some games that I think would be really fun.
A lot of games to completion. So
yeah, that's true. I've been trying to do better. I've been trying to do better.
No, honestly, you have been. Like, just even in the new year, you've been trying to play more games
does completing a
roll
run,
the credits.
Does completing a run in a roguelike count as beating a game? This isn't Splatoon 3. I beat a run in Balatro, which is a roguelike poker game, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. If you like poker, or even if you don't like poker, it's just very addictive. I really like that game. I think I found
what kind of poker. Is it like 5 card or
it's 5 card? So the way it works is you get 8 cards. Yeah, I think you get 8 cards, and then you play hands. So you play, if you have 2 pair, that counts as a certain amount of like chips. They call them chips, and then you have to get a certain amount of chips to beat that hand.
Okay.
And then there's, have you played poker before?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's small blind, big blind, and then a boss blind. But like small blind and big blind aren't what you're thinking of as small blind and big blind. It's just 3 different levels in like a round. And then there are 8 rounds, so you have to beat 8 bosses.
Okay.
And each boss has like a different debuff. I don't know if debuff's the right word, but it has like it removes the ability of certain cards, or like you only could draw like 3 cards at a time. It's a very enjoyable game. And then the way you upgrade during the run is you get Joker cards, and each Joker card has an ability. So say if you play 2 like even numbers like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, that could give you a multiplier. Stuff like that. Like I really enjoy that game. I've probably put like 10 hours into it already. I've played it like all past weekend. Anyway, that's not VR.
To answer your question though, I think if you complete a run and you roll credits,
but some of these don't have credits. I don't know. I'm counting it. But speaking of VR and Nintendo, there are Nintendo games that would work really well with VR. Pikmin work perfectly VR.
Yeah.
You could throw the Pikmin.
Yes. Yeah.
Pokemon, you could throw the Pokeballs.
Yeah.
It'd probably be more like Let's Go, like Pokemon Go, where you just catch Pokemon. But I want to do like Mario, like Zelda would work really well. Anything you put in first person.
Yeah, maybe a tech demo of Splatoon would do well.
I don't know. How would you like go into ink?
You have to get on the floor and just start like squirming around.
Yeah, I mean, first
Uh,
person.
Metroid.
Yeah, Metroid. First person shooters work really well. First person perspective games work really well. Rhythm games work well. I don't even know
I
what the
think.
Virtual Boy games were.
Oh, tennis was one of them
Oh, yeah, that would
because
work too.
Mario was like a referee or a line judge.
Okay. I should have actually loaded up my meta to see what games are on there.
Hmm.
I know there's one that
Yeah.
was like a battle royale, like a first person shooter battle royale online.
Uh-huh.
I don't even want to attempt that.
Yeah. There's a Star Wars VR game that I played, but I don't remember the name
Oh
of
yeah,
it.
there's actually a bunch of Star Wars VR games on the
And I
meta.
think
I
that
think there's like a
works
whole
pretty well.
lightsaber duels.
Yeah.
1-2 switch would work really well.
Yeah. Yeah. Milking the cow and
I do think so. I do think Nintendo, if they do add another gimmick for their next system, it would be VR. I don't know what else they could do. That I don't know how they would do it,
mm,
but they might add like maybe you could buy a VR headset separately, and some of their games work with VR. I don't know.
I feel yeah, I don't know cuz like even when you think about going back to 3D, they figured out a way for you to see the 3D in their games without the glasses. So if they were going to do virtual reality, I think that they would figure out a better way for people to be immersed. I don't know. I don't know how you do that or if they even need to do VR. You know, they did it in the past and then they kind of tried it again with Labo. So maybe they're like, "Yeah, we're done." Or they're just getting started.
Yeah, I don't know. VR, like you said, it's been a thing since at least the '90s, and now we're 30 years, and I feel like it hasn't changed. Like it hasn't improved upon that gimmick
Yeah. Like
style.
the only reason I can see myself getting a VR headset, and I don't even know which one does this, but I know that there is one that is like partnered with the NBA. So I could just be sitting courtside watching an NBA game.
I think that's meta.
Is it?
Yeah, but again, like that's not even gaming. That's just
No, it's not. It's not gaming, but I. That's the only reason I think that I would get a VR headset at this moment. And then what you were talking about earlier with Apple, is it AR, is it VR? It's both. And I think AR is more useful than VR at the moment.
yeah. Nintendo also did AR.
Yeah. And didn't really do a lot with it, which
No,
is kind of surprising.
you got those cards for
Like
your 3DS.
I feel like they could do a lot with the Nintendo app that they have right now. If they wanted to use AR in some kind of way, like maybe the games that you play also include some AR mode.
I don't know. They would need to have a camera.
Well, the phone has a camera.
Oh, the phone. Okay. I think they're straying away from phone stuff.
Yeah, and I don't know. There's some titles I wish that they would do. I wish they would do Nintendogs. I feel like that would go very well on mobile. Table Turf Battle would be awesome to have on mobile. And honestly, Mario Run wasn't that bad of a game.
It
It's
wasn't.
it's a different kind of Mario game, but I think it works.
Yeah, no, I think it was fine. That was a fine game. Fire Emblem Heroes is just
You play a lot of
it's
to
just
get
a
your
gotcha
platinum
game.
points.
Like it's not that I don't know, it's not that good of a game. Just a gotcha game just to get my platinum points.
So, I don't. What do you want to see with VR? Like, if there's anything that would get you to buy a VR headset, what does it need to do for you that is a immediate buy?
Having Nintendo games on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured that was going to be the answer.
Yeah, I mean, if it has a, an IP that I want to try, like I really love Resident Evil 4, so I wanted to try out the VR side of it.
Hmm.
But I think that did kind of turn me off from VR. I don't know. I'm more of a press buttons. Maybe it's because Resident Evil is like a stressful. It's a horror game, so it's more stressful. So you're like fumbling
Yeah.
around, and I guess that makes it more exciting in VR
Yeah.
because you're trying to reload. You're trying to get your your weapons ready. So that would be a good experience for VR. I didn't like it too much. I tried Beat Saber. That's probably more of my speed, like a rhythm game.
Hmm.
And Beat Saber, I think you could only play it on VR platforms. I might be wrong. I don't know. Because I know there are VR games that you could play in not VR.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thumper was a big one.
What was Thumper?
That was another rhythm game that was like a roller
Oh, okay.
coaster.
Okay.
It's on the Switch.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have to be the IP. Like, I don't know what's on VR. I don't know, and I don't even know who covers it. Like, who covers, like, what's on MetaQuest 3?
I don't know. Like just exclusives? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, or just what kind of experiences are on there? Because a lot of them, they are just gimmicks. Like sword fighting is probably like sword fighting's on there. There's, I'm pretty sure the Star Wars games are just kind of lightsaber battles. Like there's not really much to it outside of that. So if there's an experience that is more than just a gimmick, I'd be interested.
I guess with VR and I know that there's like a way for you to like watch somebody play a game. Like if they have the headset on, they can see what you're seeing on the TV. But how does that work with like multiplayer? Or does it work with multiplayer?
I have no idea. I did not try it. I mean, I only have one headset. So for PlayStation, it shows up on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
What they're seeing in the headset.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you could play with them.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I think you just are the viewer. So if somebody's playing like the New Horizons game, Call of the Mountain, is that what it was?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Sounds right. Yeah, I think you would just be watching them play that game.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't really play. You don't play Horizon. Horizon's not a multiplayer game anyway.
No, and I'm not saying that it should be, but just if Nintendo was going to do it, I would have a hard time seeing them just being like, yeah, this is just a one person deal and nobody else gets to be involved in it.
Well, it might be like pass the controller type deal.
Yeah. That would be interesting if you had a game where someone is just wearing the headset, but you can't see what they're seeing. And then somehow the person that has a controller is seeing something different.
Just like the gamepad on your face.
Pretty much. Yeah, let's just go back to the Wii U.
The Wii U had it right. I mean, I don't play. You could do online multiplayer for, like, we talked about this before. Couch co-op's dead.
Yeah.
So I don't see that being a huge issue. Like because Nintendo's not going to make VR only game. I doubt. I doubt they would make a VR only game. They would probably have a VR mode,
Yeah.
because that's what they did with the Labo. Well, I guess there
Yeah.
were VR exclusive games, but they were just tech demos, and they were garbage.
I think, okay. So, yes, I agree that they probably won't just have a VR game, but they could have exclusive shows or little movies or something that can only view with the VR headset.
They
That would
could do
suck,
that, kind of like the Pikmin
but
stuff they did
that's
for
what
3DS.
I'm thinking, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they got burned so bad. Well, I might be wrong, because I'm like, they got burned bad with the Virtual Boy, but they still made the Labo version, so they still want to dip their toes into VR.
Yeah.
So I looked up when Ready Player One is set.
Okay.
What year do you think it's set?
It is set 20. I think it's actually this year. Is it not 2024?
No.
Okay. When is it set?
Actually, I don't know. Maybe I looked up when the movie was. Oh, I saw when the movie was set.
Okay. I'm sure it's the same as the book.
Well, it's 2045.
2045. Okay.
So in 20 years,
Uh-huh.
we're supposedly all going to be living in the VR world.
Yeah, and in the barracks, is that what the area that they live
There's
is
the
called?
Oasis. It's called the Oasis.
No, but like everybody's living in like
Like
the
like
stacked homes.
the stacks. I think they're called the stacks.
Oh, the stacks. Yeah. When was Wall-E?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, that movie scares me a lot because I think, it's kind of happening right now. But yeah, I don't know. It's so, and that's the thing, is like when the Apple Vision Pro came out, people were kind of saying like, "Oh, we're living in Ready Player One already," because you saw people that were out at restaurants and they were talking to the other person that was also wearing a headset, or they're driving their Cybertruck while wearing a headset. And yeah, maybe this is just few in between, but these are people that actually live in this world.
I don't know. Like, it is very expensive right now, right? It's like $3,500. So it's a very select few, a very select group of people that can afford these things. But in 20 years, it could be really affordable.
Yeah, and it could be. You're right. And I think if there's anybody that is going to make it a thing, it's going to be Apple, because they have changed the way that we live with their products. I mean, like I don't go anywhere without my Apple phone. I don't go anywhere without my AirPods.
Yeah. And so back in when did the iPhone come out? 2007?
That sounds right.
Around there. I mean, it wasn't as astronomically high priced.
Uh-huh.
So more people were able to get it. But now look, we all have smartphones. Like, I don't know anybody that doesn't have a smartphone.
Yeah. And I've been thinking a lot about this conversation, because with VR and just the Apple Vision Pro, I have watched videos where I'm like, seems kind of cool. Like, I am a little tempted just to try it out. It
is cool, but like not $3,500 cool.
No. Yeah. But I also, like, a big part of it for me is I just don't know how it's going to catch on when it's covering most of your face. And I do think that, like, just to connect with people, we need to see their face, and we need to know who they are. Well, no, but hold on.
2020 happened.
True, but
we all were wearing masks.
But their eyes weren't covered.
Yeah. Your eyes, I guess your eyes are.
The eyes are the window to the soul, or whatever they say. But
I'll be really interested, like, maybe not 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when the Apple Pro free version, where you can put it on your phone bill, and that's how everybody interacts now.
Well, so there is kind of I don't know if it's a rumor, speculation, I guess. It's called Apple Vision Pro. So they think that there might be one that is
An Apple
cheaper
Vision.
that is coming out down the road. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely want to make this thing appeal to the masses.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, it looks like a luxury item. So a lot of people are probably feeling like, oh, like FOMO.
Yeah.
They're seeing people with these, and once an affordable version comes out, they'll probably hop on it.
Yeah. And there is a mode where you can turn on your eyes, I guess, so people can see you, but it's not your eyes. It's like I don't even know how to describe it. It looks
we
very
definitely
creepy.
we definitely live in a dystopian hellscape. We got to make it 20 years. Like, are we even gonna make it 20 years?
Right. Yeah. We got to get through a election first.
Maybe the Switch 2 will be out by then.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe in 20 years it will be.
Maybe. Probably not.
Maybe. And Metroid Prime 4.
No, that's definitely not out.
Yeah. That's not gonna happen.
The thing I this always boggled my mind about Ready Player One.
Mm-hmm.
So, they made this thing called the Oasis, and it has like everything you can imagine in it.
Yeah.
How'd they get all the licenses? Like how did they get all the licensing?
Uh-huh.
They never talk about that.
Yeah. I don't even think they talk about it in the book either.
Like, they just have Batman in there. And even in the book in the book they actually have more references
Mm-hmm.
than in the movie.
Yeah, the Shining scene is supposed to be War Games, the Ferris Bueller movie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That was probably a more expensive license for the movie.
Probably. I don't know. I mean, when you really do think about it, if we want to go that deep, we do now have the Las Vegas Sphere that is constantly showing ads every 3 seconds.
Is it still losing money?
Probably, yeah. But while you're on the highway, while you're in your hotel room, while you're just going up to it, ads are just being shown in your face, whether you like it or not. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and as we scroll on our phones, there's ads that are being thrown at us all the time. We're talking about companies just on this episode, so like you can't escape it.
Yeah,
We're
I
already
don't know.
living it.
I think it's going to be a slow burn. Like, I don't think it's going to happen in the next 10, 20 years. I don't know. I guess a lot can happen. A lot can happen.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Not really, because the Switch is 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still waiting for a new console from Nintendo. So, like, not a ton of things happen in 10 years.
But you just compared everything in life to just what Nintendo did?
Yeah, no, I'm just, like, some things move slower than you would think they do.
Okay.
But I don't think it'll be 10 years. I don't think it'll be 10 years because this Apple Vision Pro just came out.
Right.
So we might see a new version in like 3 years.
I bet you next year we'll see a new version. Maybe 2. Because they hold their keynote every September.
I just want to know. I want to know what is going to get everybody to buy in, because everybody bought into smartphones.
Mm-hmm. Well, and just to like clarify too, a lot of Apple Vision Pros have been returned because they've been popping like blood vessels in their eyes. But also, like, that is one of the reasons. But also, the biggest reason is people just bought them for clout.
Yeah,
just did their videos. Did their John Ebo style videos and then returned them.
Yeah, I could see that. $3,500 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
If they could get that down to $1,000, I think
Mhm.
people would be more willing to.
Probably.
Because we pay $1,000 for our phones.
Yeah, but there's a reason why we use it every day. And I don't think that we have found the reason for VR yet that you need to use it every day.
Well, it just becomes your phone. It's just your phone now.
Basically, yeah.
But I don't know what it offers more. Like, why would you walk around with it on
Uh-huh.
instead of just having your phone in your pocket?
But also, don't you like how do you type with it? Don't you like tap or something? Like you have to close your fingers together.
I don't know. I have no
People
idea.
are so lazy. Like even this little motion is a lot for people. Where just on a phone,
Yeah, but like,
you're
how
just
do you
moving-
how do you find the letter that you want?
I don't. Is there a cursor inside?
I don't know. I think we need to buy it for research purposes.
Yes, yes. We apologize. We didn't
Join
do
the
our research ahead of time.
To help us get an Apple Vision Pro. For gaming, I don't think it's going to be a thing until one of the console makers actually just does VR, and I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Only does VR?
Yeah, only does VR.
Yeah, I don't.
Because
see
I'm
that
pretty
happening
sure
either.
the Oculus, I can't remember if that's the right one. I'm pretty sure Xbox has a deal with Oculus.
I don't remember. Don't they have? Doesn't Microsoft have their own VR headset, or they did? And it
No,
didn't
I'm pretty
do
sure.
well?
I'm pretty sure it's Oculus. I think they have a deal with Oculus. So PlayStation has their own VR, but it looks like it's not really doing anything right now. So they're probably going to discontinue it, or maybe just not make another version of it.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking up to see if they are tied to MetaQuest or Oculus. Xbox gives update on virtual reality headset. I don't. That was in.
Oh, they also had
June
the
of 2023.
yeah, they had their own. I forget what it was called. I feel like they had smart glasses.
Microsoft is discontinuing Windows mixed reality. Was that something?
Yeah,
Well,
we should have
Google
done some
had it.
research.
Google had it a long time ago with Google Glass,
Yeah,
and people thought that looked dumb, and it was
Yeah, that was just like a
honestly,
little.
It's honestly what you're wearing right now.
Yeah, so we were in Disney, and we were dressed up as like Star Wars characters, and there was this guy there. He's like, "Oh, can I take your picture?" I'm like, sure. And then he just like touched his glasses, and that was that's. Are they smart glasses? Like what do they do? Are they not the same?
Probably. Yeah. So have you seen like the Ray-Ban glasses?
Yeah, that's what they were. They were Ray-Ban.
Yeah. I think they're tied to Meta.
So what? You just take pictures with them, or do you do other stuff with it?
I mean, I think you just take pictures with it, but that was a big problem. Is like, what are you doing with your glasses? Well,
Also, like you're never gonna be in a picture. You'll never be in a picture unless you give somebody your glasses, or you take a picture in front of a mirror.
Well, you could take a picture of the person taking a picture of you. Yeah, to think about that one off.
There is some weird technology out there, so I don't.
Oh yeah.
Even looking at the Apple Vision Pro website, it's like, what do you need? Why would you use this?
Like what?
Why?
Because I can't see what you're showing. So like, what are some of the
Hold
things
on.
that?
I keep whenever I flip the screen, the video goes out. So I'm sorry.
Oh.
You can navigate pictures.
Uh-huh.
You could read articles from the web.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially your phone.
Right. Just taped to your eyes.
Yeah. So like, why? And it's triple the price of your phone.
Yeah. I want to go back to the comment real quick that I made about not being able to see people's faces. And I think that is like a huge disconnect for virtual reality. But then on the other side of that is if people are all in virtual reality, you'll see their faces that way.
And don't you make like an avatar in Apple Vision Pro and it
looks
kind of looks like
you.
you, but not really like you?
Yeah.
Well, there was also the metaverse that they were trying to sell property in. It's happening. Like, it's happening. It's just a matter of time. I don't think it's going to be like, I don't think it's just going to be about gaming. I think it's going to be everything. Like, there will be games, but there's also going to be, you know, your computer is going to be this. You can browse the internet. You can watch TV, watch movies, which actually would be kind of cool to just like watch a show on it when somebody else is like, I don't know, watching TV. It just seems pointless.
And again, like, I don't think that we're going to be using it until we find how to use it every day. Because yes, it is your phone, but like at the moment, I'm not going to be the type of person that goes out to a restaurant and has this attached to my head. Now, I don't want to be the person that's going to say like, oh, this will never be me, because I mean, the way that we're all addicted to our smartphones, there are probably people that were like, that looks stupid. People are so lost into their phones, and
people
what are
share
they
those
doing?
memes all the time.
Yeah. So I don't want to be one of those people. Like, I'll keep an open mind and say, maybe that will be me one day. But at the moment, it's not me. And I don't see the purpose of having a VR headset when, like you said, it's really just your phone. I have my phone.
So would there be a game? You would ask me like, what would get me to buy it? So what would get you to buy it?
I guess if there was a way that they could not make you sick while playing it, I think that's probably the biggest component of it. Is if you are watching like a movie, a Netflix movie, you're basically just at the movie theater looking at a screen. But if you're playing a game, you have to look all around you. You have to look up and down. You're moving your body. It's going to take a lot out of you and drain you. Like, how exhausting is it to play a VR game and then, step out of that world and remember like, oh yeah, this is what the world that I live in looks like. There's got to be some kind of repercussions to that. And again, I don't want to sound like an old person that's like, oh, gaming is so bad and look what it's doing to their brains. But like, I don't know.
I think VR is a gimmick. Like, I just think, I don't think if you don't like VR games, you would offend that many people, because I don't think that many people actually care.
So then why are they doing it?
I don't know.
Because there's got to be a reason. Like, they have to have the research numbers.
Maybe
trying.
I'm wrong. Maybe like everybody has a VR headset out there. And they're all playing
and they're
VR
all just
games.
They're all really secret about it because they don't want to be embarrassed that they have a VR headset.
They're actually the cool kids and we're the losers.
Right.
A lot of people, I do think a lot of people have like the Meta Quest, because when I got mine, I had like asked like, what games should I get? And I got a decent amount of answers. So people have played these games.
Mm-hmm.
And the Meta Quest isn't that expensive. Like, it's, I mean, relatively speaking, it's like $400. So it is more accessible. I just don't get the appeal. I don't think I never got the appeal of VR games. And watching that episode of Community and how crappy the graphics are is hilarious to me, because like that is how crappy the graphics are.
Yeah, I do like the big like ring thing that he's in to like
keep
himself
the,
not
like
from
the
getting hurt.
Omni So I think they called it an Omni Mover in Ready Player One. So did you read Ready Player Two?
I never read the sequel, no, but just because I don't think I've said it on this podcast. I did audition for that movie. They had a big open casting call for the lead actor because Spielberg likes to have unknowns in his movies. And then they got the one kid from X-Men, Lucas Hill. I don't know if that's his name or not. Apparently, I don't know who he is. So
Yeah, so he was
guess-
an unknown.
I guess so, yeah. But no, I also thought like my last name is Klein and the author is Ernest Klein. No relation, but I thought that would be kind of cool.
Should have
right?
changed your name to Wade Wilson.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah.
Really committed to the part.
Yeah. But no, so I never read the sequel.
So the sequel is even more dystopian, where they like upload their conscious to the Oasis.
What do you mean? What is that?
Like they
What do you
upload
mean?
their I don't even know how else to explain it. They just upload their conscious.
Okay.
Have you ever watched Upload? The show Upload?
I haven't. No, but I need to watch it.
It is weird. It's not about VR, but it kind of reminds me of this, where like when you die, or like maybe not when you die, but if you choose to, I don't even know how to explain what they do. So if you get uploaded, you're dead. Like your physical body is dead, but your conscious is in this like cloud, like virtual.
Oh, okay.
Virtual cloud, and they're living at like a very fancy hotel, so the world is fake, but the conscious is real.
Okay.
It's a bizarre show. It's super weird. I
Uh-huh.
recommend it highly though, because it's so
Okay.
weird. It's so perfect.
Speaking of weird, if I could watch Severance on a VR headset and I could look all around me, and if I'm in that office, like I would love that experience. It would
Yeah,
probably
where's the-
freak me out.
Where's the VR Severance game?
Yeah. God, just all you have to do is like move the numbers into a box.
What am I
This is
doing? What are
only
they
for the
doing?
people-
What are they doing?
This
Are
is
they-
only for the people that watch Severance. Nobody else is going to understand this.
We
I've
should probably
always
change
thought,
this to a TV show podcast.
we do have a Patreon.
We do have a Patreon. We could do that. Could do that.
I've always thought the best use of VR for like a movie is like if you were at a dinner table and you recorded a bunch of actors just having random conversations, just how you are at a regular dinner table, and like somebody says something onto your right, so you have to look in their direction to fully hear the conversation, but then there's like a keyword or something that happens on your left and you look over there, and so like you're getting different sides of the story each time that you are watching this movie, and then there's like a plot that actually happens, or dialogue that you actually have to pay attention to. But just like in real conversations, like you hear something, you might look in that direction and get just not the full like dialogue that's happening, but just little bits. I feel like that's an immersive way that you could get people to be in VR.
Yeah, I don't know what would sell people on VR.
I was looking up something because I saw it just online and I didn't read the article. So I'm not going to like figure out what it's talking about, but you were talking about, uploading your conscious and, just like weird tech stuff. And apparently there is a thing going around right now that Spotify is reading your mind. I don't know how it works, but I mean, I am not doubting it because of the world that we live in.
Well, it's all algorithms and like.
Have you heard about the
Based
new
on-
thing? When you're watching a video or reacting to any kind of content, the camera is looking at your facial expression, seeing how you are reacting to that video. And if you like
What?
that video, yeah, they will send you more.
What? That can't be real.
I think it's very real.
I don't know.
Facebook has
I know they're watching
so
me.
much information on us.
I know they're watching us. Like that.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that are like, I can't believe the government's listening to us, because they definitely are.
Yeah.
Like, that's just don't do anything that would get you on the radar, I guess. And I know these companies are collecting our data, but I thought it was more like algorithm based. So if you're searching for, can you put me on speaker?
Can I put you on speaker?
Or we could really mess with the listeners by saying just like random stuff, like horse saddles, or
right. But
I
see,
want to
that's-
keep it G. I want to keep it G because we watched stand up. Oh man, who was it? It was so funny, and he was just yelling out like obnoxious words to try to get the phones to pick up on like that's what you get in your ads if you start yelling.
Yep.
If you start saying those words or looking
there's
for
that
stuff.
whole like meme of women yelling into their partner's phone a diamond ring and what kind of ring they want, and so they start seeing ads for it.
Oh, we got to start doing that for like Lego and I don't know. I don't even know where we got to on this conversation. We're over an hour. I personally
go ahead.
I personally don't think gaming is going to be the thing that makes VR popular.
Yeah.
Like, I think VR will, like, I think we will be more into virtual reality because of things like Apple or Facebook, like the metaverse. I don't think gaming is going to be a big part of bringing people over. Same like how phones are. Like, there are games on your phone, but you don't use a phone to play games. Like, that's not your main thing to do on your phone.
Not yet, but I mean, we'll see what they do with the iPhone 15 now that it's able to play like Resident Evil Village and Death Stranding.
Have they put any other games on it
Creed.
yet, or is it just those ones that they announced?
Are they out?
I think so, yeah.
Can you actually play the games yet?
I don't know. I think so. I mean, I need to get a new phone eventually. I have an iPhone 11. It's a little old, so I need to get a new one. So I'll probably get a new iPhone and do a video.
Yeah, you'll have to let us know
how it could play Resident Evil 4 remake and the Switch can't.
No, I really liked this conversation. I know that we kind of got off on some tangents, but I think just as technology as a whole is growing, like it's a very weird world that we live in, but you can also embrace the weirdness of it. I think you can find the good in everything if you're looking for the good. But when it comes to gaming and VR, I'm with you. I don't see it being that big yet. Like they haven't found the thing that is going to get everybody to buy something for gaming.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Like, I don't know what that would be. Maybe that's probably why we haven't seen it yet, because the only things for games that we've seen are like these rhythm games or, you know, the very basic sword fighting or first person shooter games. Like, we haven't seen anything different that would really be like, oh. Yeah,
I know Sony had a game that was like you could play as Iron Man. And I don't know if that did well, if it ever came out. But
it did come out.
When I saw that announcement, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, I would like to be Iron Man, just flying around and being able to, like, use my hands as a weapon or whatever.
There's also a Batman one.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. But I think those are such, like, small experiences.
Yeah.
That I don't know what will make people care. Like, I don't care. And they don't, those games don't make me care.
Yeah, I also thought that maybe like Among Us VR would be kind of fun for a little bit. Like you said, it's just a little experience, but I think that would be fun. And we didn't even talk about like VR chat or what
Yeah,
was the.
but that's also not just like you can play that not in VR.
Okay.
Also, I don't even know what that was a bizarre time too.
Uh huh. We're still in a bizarre time.
Yeah. Yeah, that was VR chat was a weird time.
So
Who
yeah,
knows?
I don't know, listeners. Let us know what you think. Do you play VR? Are you interested in VR? What would get you to buy a headset? Do you see it going anywhere for gaming? Like any and all thoughts, I think would make for an awesome community patch notes episode. And we'll try to get somebody on it who knows a little bit more than us, which is really a low bar. So hopefully,
I'm gonna do some research over the next week.
okay.
I'm gonna play my Meta Quest 2. If I can find
All
the
right.
charger.
Yep. See, so might not happen. Johnny, where can people find you?
I'm Johnny Bo everywhere. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and the Nintendo Powercast.
And you can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, the Nintendo Powercast, CheezyC64, CheezyC64. And I guess we'll just see you in another reality.